Good evening, everyone. My name is Sergeant Will Ryder with the Aberdeen Police Department. Thank you so much for coming out. Just so everyone here is aware, we are streaming this live on Facebook through our APD network. So those of you that were unable to attend tonight's meeting will also have an ample opportunity to engage in a question and answering. Tonight, we are having this meeting on behalf of our Western Sector citizens. Corporal Robert Tice, who I'm about to bring up here, is going to fill you in a little bit more about that. But we want to also extend this invitation to all residents of Aberdeen or anyone else with interest to please participate. We'd love your engagement. We want to really build upon these type of community interactions. So at this time, I'd like to introduce Corporal Robert Tice of our day shift, and he's going to give you a little overview about why we're here this evening.
Good evening, everyone. Again, I'm Corporal Rob Tice. Just a brief synopsis about myself. I started policing in 2008 with the Baltimore City Police Department. Worked there for about 4 years, and then thankfully I was hired by the wonderful city of Aberdeen, and I've been here going on 6 years. So I love it here. I love this city, and this meeting is to bring citizens from Aberdeen to bring their questions, concerns, ideas to the police, and then we can again work together to achieve a common goal, which is to make Aberdeen a safer and greater place to live. So one of the first things that I am going to talk about is residential home survey, and what that is I have a copy here that I can hand out so you can see it. But if you feel that your residents, you're looking for a little more security, you can contact me. I'll give you my contact information at the end. You can contact me. I'll come out. I'll check your doors, windows, hedges, things like that for height, placement, and this is kind of just a overview of your house, your yard, inside and out, to show where prospective threats where some weak points, bushes they can hide behind, where if you're looking for security cameras, where you can place them to get your optimum coverage for your house. So that's a service that we provide here at the Aberdeen Police Department. I'm certified in that, and I would be glad to come out and talk to you and check your locks and maybe provide some information on additional locks and things like that. So I'll go ahead and pass that around. You can just take a peek at it. The second thing is it's a version of a Citizens on Patrol, and one of our audience members was a part of this with me in the Southern District of Baltimore City. But what this does is it allows citizens to gather in their neighborhood, and an officer comes out, meets with those residents, and then walks to their neighborhood with them. So it's a great place to engage in conversation, voice your concerns, as well as point out some things, abandoned cars or suspicious situations, people, lights out. Maybe there are some things that DPW can address that we can help get those things started. So it's a great way for citizens to engage in their own community and assist the police with kind of achieving a common goal, which is a better neighborhood, a safer neighborhood. So those are two of the good things that us as a police department day shift, we're looking forward to partnering with you as well. So at this point, I'm going to open up to any questions, any concerns that you may have. Just raise your hand. I'll give you the mic, just your name and your question.
Thank you. John Remmer. Comment about Citizens on Patrol. It is a great thing. I probably did it in Baltimore City for 10 years. It's actually a two-way street. When walking around a neighborhood with your officer that knows your neighborhood, and they usually do very well, you develop a trust in him. So therefore, if I have a problem, I know to call the officer right away. Naturally, if it's emergency, 911. But it also gives the officer a chance to look at you, talk to you, get to know you. So you may go from zero credibility to, well, you never start off with zero credibility. But some people who have escalated reports to me that there was a gun, there was this, because they think that may get an officer there quicker. Well, we're talking Baltimore City now, because if you say I have a flat, damaged car, they might not get there till the next day. I don't think that happens in Aberdeen.
No.
But some people would actually give a false report to try to kick their problem up. What I'm saying, once you've walked around your neighborhood with an officer, you've gotten to know him, he's gotten to know you, your credibility goes to the top of the list. Thank you.
Any other questions, concerns? All right, so again, this meeting is really just to address any concerns that you have in your neighborhood. Maybe it's people speeding through your neighborhood. Maybe it's an intersection that you feel is unsafe, that maybe needs extra patrol. Maybe it's just things that you think are suspicious. Some places around the city that you would like to see some extra patrol. Again, we're here to work with you guys. As a just kind of come together as a team to again make Aberdeen a better, safer place.
I had a question just came in from Shelley Buchanan. I'm sorry, from Ms. Solar regarding speeders on Beards Hill Road. Is it possible that you could kind of give an overview within the community setting? We do receive on a constant basis speed and the unfortunate byproducts that are created from those that speed aggressively within our communities. Can you talk a little bit about what your shift, our day shift, does, and some of the measures that folks can do, like Ms. Solar, who's brought attention to a specific area, what kind of actions will be taken as a result of that kind of input?
Well, I can tell you firsthand, our day shift patrol is very adamant about traffic enforcement. Every day we're conducting at least one traffic detail. I know a lot of you will see us out there on Route 40. We do that as just preventative. You see us out there, you'll slow down, you'll drive safer. We're in and out of the neighborhoods throughout the shift. Now that we know that there's an issue on Beards Hill, tomorrow, the next day, we'll be in the neighborhoods, conducting traffic enforcement. I'll also inform our traffic corporal, Craig Gentile, and then he'll, as well as use some of his other traffic devices to better assist us in capturing speed enforcement.
Another thing you do, I've liked it, I've seen it on Hillcrest, you have a mobile radar machine that you park with a police car or truck, or sometimes just leave the mobile radar machine in the neighborhoods. That's an excellent reminder. And it makes a person think twice, are they taking a picture of me? So thank you for that.
And just to share and touch upon that topic a little bit further, if you have a particular speeding issue that you've identified in your community areas, by all means, please contact the Aberdeen Police Department. That information regarding your speed complaint will be passed on to our traffic corporal, Craig Gentile, and your input is used in how the speed trailer is deployed. And you will get follow-up and feedback in terms of what was diagnosed as a result of your complaint. So that it isn't just lip service. When you guys physically call in and make contact with us, there is real follow-up that takes place. And we love to engage in that kind of dialogue, again, with our folks here and then with our viewers that are watching off-site right now.
I have a couple of questions.
Sure.
What does a resident do if they want to petition for like getting an additional speed sign on their road? People seriously don't seem to know right automatically what a residential speed limit is.
Sure, and that's a great question. I'll get your information. I can give you to our traffic corporal. He goes to the monthly meetings with the State Highway Administration, as well as if it's a county, city, state road, and he will conduct a survey, to see speed limit, and they can make an appropriate judgment as far as if a sign needs to be put up, which it sounds like it does.
That's one part of Rear Hill, but it could be there's so many extensions, I don't know if we were talking about the same one. Second question, in regard to self-defense and stuff, is for Harford County and Aberdeen, are things such as stun guns and legal? I tried to look it up online, I couldn't find it.
I am not sure about that. That may be something that we have to look at.
Are currently illegal in Harford County. But we can
Those are the ones that shoot, though, right?
Right, and in regards to the other devices, you're talking about something that doesn't have a projectile.
Right.
We will look. I can look into that and provide you information
Pepper
specifically.
sprays, things like what isn't legal.
Right. If we can grab your information and we can give you a more thorough response outlining specific codes that would bring you in compliance with whatever would meet your self-defense needs. So if I could grab your information before you leave, I can provide you all the annotated code and things that would put you in compliance with the current laws.
Okay, wasn't able to Google it.
I'd like to get on that list also. And I was actually interviewed in Annapolis by accident one time. And the TV camera people told me that Annapolis, not the legislature, the council had just passed that tasers were legal. And I told them, I said, it sounds good, I'm in favor of that, but I want to remind everybody, it is a weapon. It is not a toy. It is, and I was on a TV camera with that. But I think it's very unclear, so if you could, I'd like to be on that list also.
And that is, we have your information here, guys, and that information will be provided if you wish.
Yes.
Any other questions, concerns?
I have one more. When I go down 22 and I go down the road that's right outside, right by the railroad tracks, on each side, it looks like Tent City. I'm not sure if these are harmless people. I'm not sure if anybody could be passing through the state on the railroad line. And I know if in fact they're homeless people, it's not an easy situation to deal with. What I would like to do is try to start the dialogue and maybe even ask for social services or somebody to pay a visit there with an officer so we can just see who's there.
I can tell you firsthand that Chief Traber is fully committed to finding a solution to this matter. All the information that you speak of concerning bringing in services outside of just law enforcement, because truthfully this isn't a law enforcement problem, it's all of our problems within different aspects of government. So all those items of which you speak of right now are currently in play, and we're looking at a comprehensive strategy long-term to help those with mental health issues deal with homelessness. It is a priority of the city of Aberdeen as well as our chief of police to bring some resolution to that in a way that's humane and following the scope of the laws that are enacted.
Thank you so much.
And I can tell you that daily checks are done to make sure that those citizens remain safe. And I've personally worked with different resources throughout Harford County to try and get outside resources. And thankfully, really, our citizens of Aberdeen are great. A lot of times they pull up, they provide food, clothing, which is great. A big thanks goes to our citizens out there that really are wonderful and in support for those citizens that need their special attention.
I've got a question that just came in from Jamie from Facebook. Jamie states that she lives across the street from Winston Choice Houses and continuously has problems with teenagers running through the neighborhood stemming back from the summer. They hang out in her yard, leave trash everywhere, fight at all hours of the night. What are some of the things that citizens that encounter those type of problems can do immediately to bring resolution, and maybe what we can do as far as long-term solution to those kind of problems?
Well, I tell you, if you see a situation like how it was described, you can call the police. We'll come out and we'll address the juvenile concerns. Again, you know, something set up like Citizens on Patrol would be great for that. You're getting with that viewer as well as some of the other residents from that neighborhood, and you're walking around and you're identifying these issues actively with the other residents. You know, so I think, you know, when she has a problem, you know, call our local number, the 272-2121. We'll respond out and address those concerns. But I think, you know, at the root of the problem is just gathering with the community and identifying these issues with the residents and coming up with a common goal to resolve these issues.
I see we have some new folks that have come into the room tonight. If you could maybe touch on, and I think it's one of the more important topics tonight, about the safeguarding your property. Could you the program that you spoke of in terms of coming out and visiting the house and safeguarding? We can get some more of this information.
Yes. So the police department provides a service. It's a residential home survey, and what it does is it you know, bring an officer out, such as myself. I come out and I inspect your I use inspect as not a literal term, but we look at your brush to make sure they're not blocking the view from your house, making sure that, you know, certain subjects can't, you know, hide behind them to, you know, to get in the house, or, you know, to conceal themselves while they're maybe, you know, around your home. If you're concerned about your doors, we can check your locks. Maybe add some extra and give you some pointers on how to add some, you know, extra locking protection or different safeguards such as that. If you're looking for like a security system, I can help you as far as where to place cameras for best coverage and things like that. So really inside and out, you know, I can just point out some things that are good and some things that may need to be improved upon, just to better help, you know, secure your property and your house, you know, for the uneventful, you know, predator that, you know, does unfortunately exist.
I just got a response back. Our traffic corporal's actually watching this live feed. This is kind of the amazing platform that social media allows us to get interaction generated. So I'll receive your information prior to leaving, and he's going to contact you, kind of go over what NHTSA does in terms of how they define speed limits, the sign placement, and can work on if the ability, or if there is a deficiency in signage or something like that. He's an excellent resource and has the connections to make those kind of fixes happen. So that will be immediately addressed tonight. Just to reiterate to everyone here, your questions, your concerns are real. They're important to us. We're not holding these meetings just to come out here and blow smoke. We're here to have these meetings to provide information that's real, relevant, that we believe has a benefit to you. The surveys, the home surveys are excellent. There's a lot of things that you can do to take advantage of protecting yourself, because ultimately you're your best ally for your own self-defense. Corporal Tice does an excellent job of coming out and engaging with homeowners and kind of finding those deficiencies or those problem areas that, when illuminated, could really be the difference between somebody picking your house to be a victim or by you empowering yourself to thwart potential criminals. So it's a great program. It's a great resource. Please take full advantage of it. For those of you that are watching via Facebook, you can private message your name and information, and we're setting up meetings with homeowners. So Corporal Tice can come out. He avails himself to come out and provide that service. The police department's fully behind it. So with that being said, does anybody else have any other questions right now? I know we have some new folks that have come in the room.
Another service that, you know, with the warm weather coming this weekend, it's just a sign that warm weather will be here before we know it. I'm the supervisor for our bike unit, so you may have seen myself or several other officers riding around the local business areas on bicycle. So if you'd like, you know, bike patrol in your neighborhood, you know, there's myself and several other officers enjoy riding the bike. It's a great way to kind of cut that barrier down between a police car. You know, it's a lot easier to say hi to somebody traveling maybe 6 miles an hour, or even maybe 23 miles an hour. But you know, it's just a great way to kind of cut down that barrier. You know, say hi, and then again, what's even better is walking with your residents and citizens. You know, that it's just, you know, I'm just all just one of the citizens trying to create a common goal. So again, if you're interested in extra patrol, bike patrol, or or citizens on patrol, I think it'd be a great thing. So.
And just to guys give you a little bit more insight into these meetings. So the police department is now divided into 3 shifts that are comprised of our patrol function. They work 8 to 4, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., 4 p.m. to 12 a.m., and then our overnight midnight shift, 12 a.m. to 8 a.m. Each shift has been assigned a sector. So Corporal Tice, the day shift, he's one of our day shift supervisors. He's representing the Western sector, but these aren't particularly geared only to Western sector residents. We're encouraging all participation from the various communities, but we're paying special attention as almost like a community liaison between those residents. So these meetings are going to continue to occur between our eastern sector and then also our central sector. So this isn't just a one-time shot. And we want to revisit these topics and come back and meet with folks to find out if something new has changed, or just really it's about a common dialogue. The ability for the police department to interact with you guys and back and forth. Because to reiterate what Corporal Tice was saying, at the end of the day, we're all part of the fabric of the same community. We all want the best for our loved ones that are out and about each day. So the things that we can find out from you guys in terms of where we could be of better service, this is a great forum for that, and I anticipate and look forward to dialogue with all the other shifts. And Corporal Tice, I know, is excited to keep this kind of platform open and ongoing.
Another question?
I got a question about the Crime Watch handout. It's very clear and explanatory. It's helpful hints or a little survey. But is this different? I'm familiar with the Baltimore Crime Watch. You're assigned a number so you can remain anonymous when you call in. Some people in Baltimore City are scared to report things. You may not have that problem here. Do you have a program like that, like the Baltimore Crime Watch, where you remain anonymous and use a number? I'm curious.
Currently, right now, we do not participate in the Crime Watch program. Many of our citizens call our local number and remain anonymous without a number. So
yes.
Currently, we do not participate in the Crime Watch. Not that it's not a great program. However, it's just currently we're not participants. But we urge all citizens that anonymous or not, please call with your concerns.
Yeah. And just one thing that I remember, a lot of people were afraid to call 911, but even that you can. You're not completely anonymous, but you can say you don't want to give your name. You can do that with 911. Thank you.
Well, we definitely have that available in terms of, we receive tips that come in through like Metro Crime Stoppers. That's completely anonymous. So anything that you call in Metro Crime Stoppers that pertains to Aberdeen, I'm in charge of our criminal investigation division. I know personally I received that information. I can tell you as a success story, the amount of input that we receive as a result of our social media platforms regarding the identification of suspects involved in crime is unbelievable. We're using the public, and again, this goes to further the partnership that we've created, is we're making strides with bringing information of those that are involved or suspected to have committed crimes, putting them out to the public, and you guys are answering the call. We're receiving it in the forms of messages that are coming directly in through our dispatch, that are phoned in directly. Some of them, the people want to remain anonymous, and we're able to use the investigative steps and measures to follow up and kind of remove you from the loop. Others are more open about providing their information. Our Facebook, which we're currently streaming on live right now, there's a private inbox. You can leave your information there, and that information goes through also our PIO, Officer Neidig, who is behind me on the camera there. He's one of the PIOs as well. We're constantly receiving information from the public that's invaluable in terms of helping us solve crimes, prevent crimes, bring us information that we were unaware of as it as it regards safety. There may be things, if we work together, we're doubling, tripling, magnifying our ability to see things before they happen, where there's only so many of us that are on patrol each day. But as we continue to engage and meet with you folks in the public, we're finding that we're gaining so many supporters that you are taking on the role of our eyes and ears. And that's the kind of partnership that truly creates successful communities in terms of community policing. We're working interchangeably. And I think what Corporal Tice is doing here today speaks volumes as to the commitment that the department has serving in that regard. Does anybody else, sir?
Just a quick question. I don't know if it'll be a quick answer. The last one of these meetings, you guys had noted that, like the rest of America, we're certainly seeing a spike in opioid-related incidents. Do you have any update on that? And are you guys traveling with the naloxone type stuff at this point to deal with those overdoses at this point?
Well, I can speak in terms of I'm present and I review and see the numbers that come in for the county as part of the not sitting as a member of the task force, but seeing the data that comes in each week, and it is very depressing. We are definitely in the clutches of an epidemic in terms of opiate abuse, which is cycling into heroin use, and it's affecting us in lots of ways, and a lot of untold ways, from crime, from the thefts, and all the other peripheral things that come along with drug abuse. Obviously, the effects of families, shattered relationships. We're working very closely with our other allied agencies and partners to make those that are involved in the sale of those types of narcotics a target and a priority. But really, it comes down to the prevention and rehabilitation. And those services are expanding in the county. I can't speak specifically. It's a little bit out of my bailiwick in terms of that. But I know here we recognize the problem that's ongoing. And in regards to Narcan, Corporal Tice has received multiple life-saving awards for bringing people back from the clutches of death. And if you could kind of describe Narcan and how that relates to our use in patrol.
Sure. So every officer is given several vials of the naloxone to use, and once we receive a call, typically it comes out as an overdose, and a lot of times they'll say it's an opioid overdose. I'm myself as all the officers are first to grab the kit and not afraid to use it. So it's myself as many officers of the Aberdeen Police Department and even officers in Harford County, we've all used it, and it's done amazing things for the victims of opioid abuse.
And as a talking point to go along with that, we have scheduled in the next couple of months to have an expert in the area of heroin in this epidemic that'll be featured on our community corner. And just to give you a little bit of feedback about, it's actually what we're streaming on live now, is our Aberdeen Police Department Facebook page, is each month we offer a conversation with the community like we're doing here with you folks, and we try to find relevant topics that we believe will have an impact to those in our citizenry base. So this is one that I'm trying to line up someone that'll be very appropriate, that will be able to get out there. So if you're not a member on Facebook, we'll try to look for other avenues to put that out there, but I can tell you we will be having something coming up in the next couple months to address that specifically. And it'll be more than just from an enforcement side. It'll be bringing in some of the treatment options, some of the things that are going on in Harford County, because this isn't going away. It's affecting people from every socioeconomic background. So it's something that if you have someone, a loved one that's involved in drug use right now, it's obviously a very dangerous time. The fentanyl, the carfentanil, some of these other opioids that are synthetics that are out there are highly, highly lethal. That's why you're seeing these huge spikes in deaths as it regards to that kind of drug use. So obviously just pay attention to your prescription cabinets. When you have those things that are accessible to your kids, they're curious, they're hearing things, that language, talking about it. If it's at eye level, reach and grab. The kids in the schools are, it's at younger and younger ages. So having that conversation and awareness is really critical. And thanks for bringing that up. And we will continue to bring that kind of resource to these type of forums. Anybody else have anything?
Just a quick question. How often does the police department have their self-defense classes?
We have not had a self-defense class, and then we did something in the middle school just recently that was organized by our middle school SRO, Officer Neidig. If that's something that people were interested in doing, I can't promise you that's something that we're going to do, but I'll definitely bring that kind of, if there's a need and people want to participate in something like that, by all means, that's something we could try to look at providing a place and maybe a forum where we can discuss personal safety. And it may not be the application of going hands-on, but just talking about some of the things you can do and maybe bringing some people in from some of our local businesses, not naming any in particular, but there is self-defense related businesses that are within our city limits. Maybe we can bring some of those folks in. I'm just kind of off the cuff right now, but we will look further into that and we'll have a discussion about how we can maybe bring something like that to light.
I just want to follow on. It's a great confidence builder. I was fortunate to have that type of training with Department of Natural Resources. I volunteered as a volunteer ranger at the Tangier Sound Country Music Festival and Hagerstown, Rocky Gap Country Music Festival. And they gave you half-hour self-defense training. I was probably 25 years old. It's been a great confidence builder for my life. Maybe 30 years old.
All right, folks, if anybody else doesn't have any questions, we're getting close to the wrap up. And what I would encourage you to do is if you want to stick around for a few minutes, I want to make sure Corporal Tice has all your information and we specifically identify each question that you have here in this room. And then if you want to engage in just some private, I know we're being recorded right now, we're going to stick around for a little bit. We'd love to chat with you personally one-on-one. If you have anything you want to speak about with us privately, that's great. And then for our Facebook community, for those that are watching, please continue to keep assisting us. If you have any more questions tonight, if we haven't got to your specific questions that you asked at this juncture, we will follow up in a timely manner and follow up with you and provide you some type of answer. So I'd like to thank everybody that tuned in on our APD network, streaming live at the community quarter. Thank you very much, and I'll turn the mic over to Corporal Tice for the closing remarks.
Again, thank you everybody that came out together, police, community, citizens. We can come together and truly make a difference. Again, make Aberdeen a safer, a better place to live. So again, I thank each and one of you for coming out, and thank you again. We'll see you next time.